Alright, it's time for another victory lap. I noted in one of my previous videos that we had a put position put on the Qs, and that put position was very profitable. One put made enough to cover an entire year's subscription. And then I also warned that to my subscribers, I said I'm almost 100% sure there is going to be an intervention that tries to stop the daily cycle decline at this trend line. That would be a spot where some shorts are going to cover their shorts and get out of that position. So with the elections coming up, there's going to be a massive effort to try and prop the stock market up. So there was a lot of motivation to try and stop this crash. Now, a normal intermediate or daily cycle decline will almost always not only break the uptrend line, but it will close below that uptrend line. So this doesn't happen naturally. You don't naturally get a daily cycle low that forms before the trend line breaks. You need to wash out all of the technical traders that are going to be long above this trend line, and then they stop out, and then you can get selling exhaustion, and then you can get the bounce out of the daily cycle low. So this doesn't happen naturally. But I warned my subscribers the other day that this was going to happen, that there would be an intervention in the stock market to try and stop the crash. And that if you were still holding any of those QQQ puts, you would probably, I would not be betting on the normal parameters being allowed to happen, that being that the price would close below this trend line. And that's exactly what happened. So the people that listened to me, they got out of those puts with anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200 profit on each put that they bought, and one of those was more than enough to pay for an entire year's subscription to the SMT. So with one trade, I made you enough money to pay for the entire year of an SMT premium subscription. And I warned you to get out of that position ahead of what I was pretty much convinced was going to happen, that there would be an intervention to stop this a bit prematurely. They would not allow price to go below the trend line like it should naturally. So there's one victory lap. All right, so here's the second victory lap. On September 2nd, when we got a swing in gold and in the miners here, I put out a report. I said I was good with traders adding to their mining position, and normally I don't like miners, but because the metals have been attacked so viciously, the price has been stretched way too far below the 200-day moving average, and let me put that in. All right, so here's the long-term chart, and you can see the attacks on the mining stocks has just driven price way too far below this 200-day moving average. And so I want to make a bet that the manipulation is going to break, and that price is going to come back up and at least get close to or tag this 200-day moving average. And based on how far the manipulation has stretched price below the 200-day moving average, I think it's reasonable to expect that not only will we test the 200, but probably go a little bit above it before this rally is over. So most of the time I don't like miners. Right now I do. And so on September 2nd, that is where I told people to that I was okay. I thought we would have or we had a daily cycle bottom. As you'll remember, I have been saying for quite a while that I was pretty confident they were going to break the lows in miners and silver, but I did not think they would be able to break the low in gold. That has also transpired. Again, I'm pretty sure that we've got a daily cycle low here, so that they were not able to drag gold down and break the low in gold. Still a little touch and go here, but I'm fairly confident in saying they are not going to be able to to do that. They're not going to be able to break this low in gold. Not during this intermediate cycle. Now, at the next 3 or 8 year cycle low, yes, I think they will break this, but that should be probably next spring or summer. So for this intermediate cycle, they tried very hard. They beat the miners down to new lows, and they beat silver down to new lows. But I did not think that they would be successful in driving gold to new lows, and it looks like I was correct there. So I can take another victory lap on that one as well. But right now, I think there is potential in the miners here. I think the manipulation is going to break and is breaking. I warned people that we were probably going to get a false breakdown, one that panics everybody and they sells, and that's exactly what happened. I watched as a bunch of people panicked, sold, or canceled their subscription right here when they should have been buying. It's just, I guess it's just impossible to help these people understand how markets work. This is a planned breakdown. The money that wants to get in long create these stop runs. They break price below a support zone, and it triggers everybody's stops. They panic, they sell, and that gives the big money the liquidity they need to get in right at the bottom. And I've tried to educate people on how this works, but most people trade emotionally, so they never learn the lesson. But for those that listen to me, we got in on September 2nd, so this was our entry, and now we have the false breakdown, just like I warned was going to happen, and we're back above that breakdown level, so we didn't get any follow through to the downside here. Now let me caution again that this is not going to be easy. This is not going to be a straight shot up. The banking cartel is going to fight this the whole way. There are going to be lots of attacks. So if you think that you can just get in leveraged and bet everything on this move, this regression event back up to here, they're going to fleece you, because there are going to be a lot of attacks along the way to try and stop this. And if you're heavily leveraged, you're going to watch just some insanely wild swings in your portfolio value. Even though you're going to be positioned correctly, the market is going to go back up and test this, but it could, the move could look something like this. You could have a huge attack next week that takes it back down below this breakdown, and then and then the fundamentals recover and take it back up, and so you get stopped out here, and then up here you feel confident to buy again, and then like another vicious attack that knocks you out for another loss, and so on. So it could be a really wild ride back up here. I don't believe that they're going to be able to stop the move back up there, but I think that they very well could make it so volatile and erratic that if you are leveraged or overexposed, you won't be able to hang on and you won't profit from it. So you have to have a reasonable position size, something that will allow you to hold on through these attacks that are almost sure to occur, and keep holding until we at least get up here and test or almost test this 200-day moving average. And then as always, at some point you just have to ask yourself, have I made enough money? Is it important to try and catch the exact top, or can I just be happy with what I've made? So as I said, right now I am bullish miners, one of the few times that I am going to be bullish miners, but I'm being realistic, and I understand that the cartel is going to make this ride back up to the 200-day moving average as volatile and whipsawing as they can possibly make it. So be aware of what's going to happen. Don't get overexposed or leveraged, and that way you'll be able to hang on for the ride no matter how many attacks they throw at this market. But another victory lap. So the victory laps are starting to pile up.